Hello everyone, I'm Thais and today I'm here to do my June book haul. First of all, I'm sorry if the background is a little bit too noisy. I usually wait until it's a bit quieter to film, but this video is already really late. I've been wanting to film this since last week, but first I got caught up with the beginning of the readathons and then I woke up really sick yesterday and I couldn't speak 5 words without sneezing. I still feel like crap today. I have the worst headache ever, but at least I can speak, so it's about time I filmed this video. Let's get started on the books then, because I have a lot of them to show you again. The first book that I have to show you is King Edgar Hotel. This is a horror anthology featuring short stories by a bunch of different Brazilian authors, including me. I actually made an entire video dedicated to this book, so I'll leave a link to that in the description bar. Next is a book that I won in a giveaway, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I can't tell you how excited I was to get this book. I've heard a lot of amazing things about this author. I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing being said about her books. I've been wanting to read them for ages, so I was so excited to get this, and it is this beautiful UK version. It's really high quality for a paperback actually, and even though I prefer the US cover, this one is really beautiful as well, and that's not even the best part. It is also signed, so my first book by V. Schwab, and it's signed. It's ridiculous how excited I was when I got this. Like I said, I've been wanting to read her books for ages, so I picked this up almost as soon as I got it, and I'll talk more about it on my wrap-up. The next book that I have is The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. This is a contemporary romance, and from what I've seen on Goodreads, it's supposed to be really fun and sweet, so I'm really excited to read this. The next book is one that I've showed on my last video, and that is The Peculiar by Stephen Bachman. I still have no idea how to pronounce his name. But this book takes place in a world where fairies live among humans. It is a middle grade novel that mixes elements of fantasy and steampunk, and I don't want to say much more about it because I read it without knowing anything about the story, and it was a great experience. I'll talk more about it on my wrap-up, but I can already say that I really love this book and I can't wait to get my hands on the sequel. The next book I have is Last Sacrifice by Richelle Mead. This is the last book in the Vampire Academy series, and if you've watched my previous 2 book hauls, I think, I've been hauling the books in this series because I read the first one like a couple of months ago, I think, and I really loved it. So now that I finally have all of them, I can't wait to finish the series. The next book is also the last one, but in a trilogy, and that is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. I've been wanting to finish this trilogy forever. This book came out, I think, in February here in Brazil, so I've been wanting to get my hands on it ever since. I actually already read it, and I'll talk more about it on my wrap-up. The next one that I have here is a very special book, and that is The Little Prince by Antoine Saint-Exupéry. I just butchered his name, I'm sorry, I can't speak French. Anyway, this book is about a man that finds himself lost in the desert when his plane has some mechanical issues, and there he meets a young boy who claims he's from a different planet. I don't think I've mentioned this, but I study publishing in university, and this book is actually the result of one of our classes. As a final assignment, we had to make a new edition of a book that's on public domain, and my group chose The Little Prince. We made an interactive version of it, so it has like images for coloring and some other extra activities. I was so excited to finally have this book in my hands. I mean, we had some trouble with the printing and stuff, but it was still like our little baby. So yeah, I was really happy to see how it worked out. The next book that I have is If I Stay by Gail Forman. I'm sure everyone has heard of this book by now. It's about a girl that slips into a coma after a car accident that kills her parents, and it's basically about her trying to decide whether she really wants to stay alive. I actually own a copy of this book already. This is a duplicate that I won in a giveaway, so I'll probably just trade it for some other book on my wishlist. The next book that I have is Darkhouse by Karina Hale. All I know about this book is that it's about a woman that sees ghosts. It's a mystery horror type of thing, and you know that I love this kind of book, so I'm really excited to read this one. And what's with the lighthouse thing in horror books? I feel like there's a lighthouse in every mystery book that I read. What's up with that? The next book that I have is also on the mystery side, and that is Into the Darkest Corner by Elizabeth Haynes. From what I've seen on Goodreads, there are pretty good reviews about this book, but since it's supposed to be a psychological thriller, I don't want to know much about this story because I think that it's more exciting reading books like this without knowing anything about it. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Next I have The Look of Love by Bella Andre. This is the first book in the Sullivan series, which is a new adult series. Now I usually don't read this genre, it's not one that I particularly like, but I've read another book in the series. It's called If You Were Mine. I think it's the 5th one, and I actually really enjoyed it, so I think I'm gonna give this one a try. The next book I have is Summer on the Short Bus by Bethany Crandell. This book is about a girl named Cricket who is really a spoiled child. So one day her father decides to send her off to a summer camp for disabled teens so she can learn some responsibility. I think this is going to be a very fun read. I won this book in a giveaway hosted by the author, and she was kind enough to send it signed for me. I don't know if you can see it, but it sounds like a very sweet read, and I'm really excited to read this one. The next book I have is Charlie Presumed Dead by Anne Heltzel. This is another book that I won in a giveaway hosted by the author, so it's signed as well. In this book, a young man named Charlie Price is presumed dead after an explosion. At his funeral, two girls meet and discover that both of them had been dating Charlie, but were completely unaware of each other. So they set out on a trip in order to find out if Charlie really is dead and what it all means. It just sounds like a very intriguing read, so I'm really excited for it. When I show you the next two books that I have here, you're probably gonna think that I'm crazy, but I swear there's an explanation for them. The first one is The Iron Trial by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black, and the second one is also The Iron Trial. Now, here's the thing. I actually already own a Brazilian edition of The Iron Trial, so that makes 3 copies of the same book. But I can explain. The first edition that I had was one that I actually bought for myself, but then I won this one in a giveaway, so I had a duplicate. And the reason I bought The Iron Trial in hardcover was because the publisher that published The Iron Trial here in Brazil is not the same one that's going to publish The Copper Gauntlet. They announced that like a couple months ago, like a week after I had bought the Brazilian edition of this one. And not being the same publisher means that the books aren't going to match on my bookshelves, and I cannot have that. So yeah, that's why I got this. I actually haven't read this book yet, and I'm glad that now I can read the original version. I've read a book by Holly Black that I loved, and I love all of Cassandra Clare's books, so I'm really excited and I'm sure I'm going to love this. The next book that I have is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the second book in the Raven Cycle series, and I've heard so many people raving about this series. It's about time I picked it up. I actually don't own book 1 yet. I traded it and I'm waiting for the guy to send me, so it's probably gonna be on next month's haul, but I already went ahead and bought this book because it was really cheap and in stock on the Brazilian Amazon. So when I bought The Iron Trial, I just bought this one with it, and I'm really excited to read this series because I've heard amazing things about it, and I've wanted to read Maggie Stiefvater's books for quite a while now, so I can't wait for book 1 to arrive so I can finally get started. The last book that I have to show you is one that I got as a present. Here in Brazil, we celebrate Valentine's Day on the 12th of June, so my boyfriend gave me as a gift City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I'm so excited to have this book. For those of you who don't know, I haven't finished reading the Mortal Instruments series yet. I have to read the last 2 books. Now I only need to get my hands on City of Lost Souls so that I can finally finish reading it. I'm so excited. So those were all the books that I got this month. As you can see, there were a lot of them. I'm starting to wonder if I'll ever have a small book haul on this channel. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!